Hello, my name is Wyman Hallstrom, and I'm the most worshipful Grand Master of Masons for the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. I sit in the east, the symbol of the rising sun, which spreads light and wisdom to the brethren of our craft. My job is complex, yet very simple. It is to keep true the Masonic principles of the lodges within our jurisdiction. You may ask why the term most worshipful. Well, in ancient times, worshipful was a term used of honor among the people. I am the most worshipful, as this is the highest office in the state of Rhode Island. In addition to being Grand Master, I have a day job also. I'm a milkman. But Masons all over the state have day jobs, and you may know some of them that you don't even know are Masons yet. The membership requirements are simple. You must be a man of 18 years of age, you must believe in a supreme being, and most importantly, you must have a good character.
Freemasonry is an ancient fraternal order with roots in medieval stone guilds. The craft has evolved in a social group where like-minded individuals can meet and exchange ideas while still learning from rituals and symbols of the past.
Well, I think that we remember the roots of Freemasonry in this country because we hear about it frequently in our lodges. We're very proud of our history. We understand the great men who were Freemasons that helped to bring about what is now the United States of America.
And you know, going back and thinking about it, you see how many of the great people we know were Freemasons. And it always struck me as something that I wanted to be a part of. And since joining, Freemasonry has actually been one of the high points of my life.
The history of Freemasonry in Rhode Island dates to 1749, when the petition was granted for the formation of St. John's Lodge, Newport. The first meetings were held in the council chamber of the old State House. By 1757, the charter was granted for St. John's Lodge, Providence. However, both of these bodies eventually became dormant during the period of the American Revolution. Members of the craft, though, were actively engaged in the War of Independence. On June 10, 1772, members of the St. John's Lodge in Providence burned the British ship Gaspee, causing the first colonial engagement of the American Revolution.
The night you come to the lodge, you don't know what to expect. It's all new, it's an adventure. You knock on the door of the lodge and you're in an atmosphere that attempts to tell you ways that we feel are correct ways to live by taking you through various degree presentations. Blue Lodge is attempting to take a man that may be a good man and remind him of those things that will make him a great man.
I joined in 2010. My wife was terminally ill, and I had spent the last several years taking care of her. And what happened is she was realizing she wasn't going to be around an awful lot longer, and she started on her own looking for things for me to be involved with and show the same amount of care and passion that I had for taking care of my family. And she did a lot of research, and she came up with the Freemasons as being what she would consider a decent and respectable type of organization to belong to.
I'd like to talk a little about the history of the lodge. It was founded in 1796. It was founded mainly by ship's captains. Of the 58 members, 21 of them were ship's captains. When we were going to build a building, we were very fortunate that one of them managed to obtain the timbers from one of the sunken ships in Newport Harbour, reputed to be one of the English frigates. This was floated up the bay and was used, and couple of years ago, examining it, we found that the timber was in still perfect condition.
Washington Lodge is rather famous for a number of murals that are on the walls of our lodge room. They were painted in 1915 by Max Mueller, who was a graduate of RISD. In one story of ancient Egyptian mythology, we have Osiris sitting in judgment over the soul of a dead man. The soul of the dead man is personified by a heart being weighed against a feather. Horus weighs this heart on a scale, and if the heart is free of guilt, it will be lighter than the feather. Some of the other murals displayed on the walls relate to the building of what we see as King Solomon's temple, but of course the images themselves are related to the building of the pyramids.
Scottish Rite is one of the organizations beyond the Blue Lodge that offer additional degrees in Freemasonry. We all know that the highest degrees in Freemasonry are those given in the Blue Lodge. Scottish Rite offers 30 additional degrees, the last of which is a 33rd degree. That degree cannot be applied for. It's awarded by unanimous vote of the Supreme Council, and it's a mark of distinction for Scottish Rite Masons. The Scottish Rite degrees emphasize the core values of the Scottish Rite fraternal organization: reverence for God, patriotism, tolerance, justice. Essentially, they're the core values of our fraternity. Those kinds of ideals that every man should adhere to make themselves a better person.
So in order for you to join the York Rite, you have to first be a Blue Lodge Mason. And so if they're coming in off the street or the general public, you join the Blue Lodge. And then after you join the Blue Lodge and you're interested in furthering your experience or bettering yourself, bettering your knowledge, that's where you can take your next step and join the York Rite. And the York Rite is comprised of 3 separate and distinct groups: chapter, council, and commandery. So chapter is next, and you take a few degrees in chapter, and then you take 3 more degrees in council, and then in commandery you take orders, and there's 3 orders: the Order of Red Cross, the Order of Malta, and then the Order of the Temple.
In order to become a Shriner, you have to be a Master Mason in good standing. I always envision a wheel with a hub in the center of it, and Freemasonry is the hub, and all the offshoots are the different concordant bodies, and the Shriners are one of those concordant bodies under the umbrella of Freemasonry. It actually began in New York City in 1872. Mecca Shriners were the first temple to come into existence. A group of Masons from New York decided to start a social club, is essentially the way it originated. The idea caught on. Masons from all over the country and now all over the world decided to become Shriners and have a little fun. But like Masonic charities, the Shriners also have their own charities, which is the children's hospitals. There are 22 Shriners hospitals in the world right now. Everything from burns and orthopedic care to spinal injuries and cleft lip and palate repair.
The International Order of the Rainbow for Girls is a service organization for young ladies ages 11 through 21, and we teach girls skills that they can use later in life, such as public speaking, how to run an event, and how to present yourself in front of a crowd. Originally, the Rainbow Girls were daughters, granddaughters, nieces of the Freemasons, but you do not have to be Masonically affiliated in order to be a Rainbow Girl. The most valuable thing that I've found that I've gotten out of Rainbow is the amount of friends I have made throughout the order, just not in my own state, but throughout the world.
DMLA is a youth group sponsored by the Masons in Rhode Island. We have boys ages 13 to 21. We often meet in Masonic temples where the Masons meet, and we're exactly like Masonry in the fact that we try to live our lives a little bit better. We donate a lot to charities, and we get the boys ready for their experiences as adults.
It is organized pretty much the same as any other youth organization. In order to become a member, you have to be a boy of good standing, no felonious charges. But most everyone is accepted as long as they believe in a higher power. DMLA raises funds for organizations such as Jillian's Teams, Diabetes for Children, and other such organizations. DMLA also participates in active community service at places like soup kitchens and just in local community events.
Children's Dyslexia Center of Rhode Island was previously known as the 32nd Degree Masonic Learning Center, which is a Scottish Rite charity of the Northern Masonic jurisdiction. A tutoring service for children with dyslexia at no cost to them, like most Masonic charities. We have about 32 children in our program here in Rhode Island.
CHIP program stands for Child Identification Program. It essentially documents kids' information about their names, parents' names, contact information, address, and it goes more specifically into identifying their weight, their height, and any related information if they have a special need for glasses, what's their race, and if they have any special conditions such as an asthma or any need for medication. And it's all documented on a CD that's copied after enter the information in the computer. It will burn the information into CD that would be given to the parents, and that will be utilized in case of needing to put out an Amber Alert.
We felt that people should live with some dignity and not have to worry about where they're going to come and get the equipment or the expense of the equipment. A lot of people can't afford it. And you can tell by the number of hospital beds we have plenty, along with the mattresses and railings. This is our shop where we keep our tools, and this is where we do all the electrical work on our scooters and wheelchairs.
You know, there's a lot of things in life that we all do perfectly well, and there's a lot of things that some of us don't do well. We all are presented with choices that we think back, would my grandmother be happy with my choice? Masonry is no different. We can't make you a great person, but we can certainly help you reflect upon the principles that your parents and your grandparents have taught you and help you think twice about making a bad decision.
The Freemasons of Rhode Island are good men of character, called together to serve each other and to serve the community. If what you have seen thus far is appealing to you, we hope that you will take the next step. Contact your local lodge. You may be the next great Mason. Thank you for watching, and God bless.